National 5 biology students. Let's do this past paper question together. So this question says, progressive retinal atrophy, PRA, is a rare condition in some dogs, such as cockapoos, that can result in blindness. PRA is caused by the inheritance of the recessive form of a particular gene, which is represented by a lowercase r. Okay, so recessive form. Okay, cool. Depending on their genotype, a dog's phenotype can be described as affected, unaffected, or carrier. Okay, so affected, unaffected, or carrier. A cockapoo breeder tested the DNA of a female dog and 3 male dogs before choosing which pair to breed. The results are shown in the table. A, part 1. Complete the table by adding the phenotype for male 2 and 3. Okay, well, let's have a look. So if we know that the female is heterozygous, okay, so they're a carrier, they have a capital R and a lowercase r. Okay, what would be the phenotype of this male here who has 2 lowercase r's? Well, it tells us up here that the lowercase r is recessive and that the inheritance of this condition is caused by that recessive form of the gene. Therefore, this person is going to be affected. Okay, and similarly, this person here has no lowercase r's, so they're not affected. They're not a carrier, so they must be unaffected. Okay. Part 2, state the term used to describe the genotype of a carrier of PRA. And I said it a couple of moments ago, carriers are these people, okay? And if you've got both a capital and a small, okay, or two different forms of the gene there, then you are known as heterozygous. Okay. Part 3, the breeder selected a male based on their DNA results for this condition. The offspring were as follows: 4 unaffected and 4 carriers. Which male was chosen to breed with the female? Okay, so this is a slightly trickier one, but let's have a look. Now, the female is heterozygous, okay, so they have a capital R and a small r. Now, if you're unaffected, you have to have 2 capital R's. If you're a carrier, you have to have a capital R and a small r. Now, if some of the offspring have 2 capital R's, that means that both parents must have a capital R in order for this offspring to inherit 2 capitals, okay? So both parents, now we know that the mother's that, and it means both parents must have a capital R, so we already know the genes this male has to have, okay? So they have to have a capital R. But if we look at this second set of offspring here, the 4 carriers, we can see they've got a capital R, which they could have gotten from either parent, and a lowercase r, which they could have gotten from mum as well. But the key thing is, there are no offspring which have 2 lowercase r's, okay, so are affected. There are no offspring with that. Therefore, it's likely that the other parent must be this, because if the other parent had a lowercase r, then it would be possible to get offspring with 2 lowercase r's, and therefore we would have some affected offspring. Okay, so therefore we think it's going to be, the male is going to be this, capital R, which means it's going to be male number 3. Okay, the other way you can do this, of course, is to do a Punnett square just to check. So, for example, that's mum there, and this is dad here. Okay, that would give us offspring of that, and that. Okay, so for every 2 of these unaffected, we would get 2 carriers, and that's in the right ratio in terms of the offspring there. Okay, so we've checked that. That makes sense as male 3. Okay, moving on to part B. So 8, part B. Another breeder did not carry out DNA tests before breeding a pair of cockapoos. All their offspring were affected by PRA. Give the genotypes of the parents in this cross. Now we know that in order to be affected by PRA, because it's a recessive condition, you need to have 2 lowercase r's, okay? If you're affected, you have 2 lowercase r's. Now that means that the only possible combination for the 2 parents is to have this, because if either parent had even 1 capital R, then there'd be a chance the offspring would have a capital R and therefore would be a carrier, okay? Or if there was 2 capital R's in here, we would possibly get some unaffected offspring as well. But because they were all affected by it, this is the genotype of those all affected. Therefore, the parents must be this, because they can then only give lowercase r's to all of the offspring. And lastly, give the term used to describe the different forms of a gene. Hopefully this is just a straightforward knowledge one for you, but if you don't know this, learn the definition for an allele. Okay, the allele is the term used to describe the different forms of a gene. Okay folks, I hope that helped. See you in the next one.